In Monza, F1 fans were confronted with something that nobody likes to see, but is also kind of inevitable. Team orders. They have been a part of the sport for ages, and while it is not pretty to watch, teams are allowed to make drivers swap positions. But why do team orders exist? What is their advantage, and what has F1 done to limit them? In today's GPFans Special, we're finding out. Team orders have existed since Formula 1 was founded. In 1955, Juan Manuel Fangio was asked by his team, Mercedes, to let his teammate Stirling Moss pass him so Moss could win his home race. When we say team orders, we naturally think of swapping positions, but there are other variations too. Think of radio messages such as "hold position," "do not fight," and so on. In practice, it always comes down to the team interfering with the action on the track, and that is precisely what the sport would rather not see, because it has to remain a sport. Teams do it because, well, they can. At its very essence, Formula 1 is a constructors' championship, as that is where the prize money gets handed out at the end of every season. For the rest of the world, the most interesting bit is the drivers' championship, of course, but if you're part of a team, your eyes will be on the constructors. Your position in those standings also determine bonuses for team personnel, after all. Team orders have always been controversial and have never been received well in the public eye. In 2002, Rubens Barrichello was ordered by Ferrari to let Michael Schumacher pass him despite the Brazilian leading the entire Grand Prix. Fans were outraged, and the FIA weren't too pleased either, as Ferrari were fined $1 million and team orders were outlawed. The FIA did not want outcomes of races to be able to be manipulated. In F1, rules are there for teams to find a way around, and the same went for the ban on team orders from 2003 onwards. Teams found different ways to get their drivers to execute their strategy, namely via somewhat cryptic messages. The most famous example is the 2010 German Grand Prix, where Felipe Massa was told that, quote, "Fernando is faster than you," meaning that Massa had to let teammate Fernando Alonso pass. Another team order is so famous that it even has a name: Crashgate. During the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, Renault driver Nelson Piquet Jr. was instructed to crash on purpose so teammate Fernando Alonso could take advantage of the safety car. The Spaniard did win the race, but Renault were heavily punished once the FIA caught wind of their scheme. There are also instances of drivers ignoring team orders. In 2013, Red Bull instructed Sebastian Vettel to not overtake teammate Mark Webber at the Malaysian Grand Prix. Vettel was told Multi-21, the code for that very instruction, but he ignored the message and eventually won the race. As a consequence, there was a bit of an in-team fight, and Webber left Red Bull at the end of that season. The problem with the FIA's ban on team orders was that it's nearly impossible to control in what case something is a team order and in what case a driver gets instructed something as a safety precaution. In 2010, the ban was lifted, meaning teams no longer had to veil their messages. Bernie Ecclestone, F1's former owner, always thought team orders were part of the sport. A team simply has the right to swap its cars, as it is their team, after all. The previous examples we mentioned of team orders were all about race wins that were given to teammates. At Monza on Sunday, it was about second place. Lando Norris allowed Oscar Piastri to pit first, despite the Brit being the lead driver, meaning he has first choice when it comes to pit stops. When Norris came in, he had a very slow stop, meaning Piastri overtook him. McLaren asked the Aussie to then give back the place, and while Piastri said a slow pit stop is part of racing and not part of the papaya rules, he eventually gave in. In the end, Norris only gained 3 points on Piastri, but McLaren have now gone in a direction that is very hard to undo. How will they handle things when there is an Abu Dhabi 21 repeat, for example? And how long does a pit stop have to be for it to be considered slow and the team needing to step in? We'll get answers to this in the remainder of the season. Famed Italian motorsports journalist Leo Turini wrote that Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost would never have swapped places like McLaren did at Monza. What do you think? Are team orders part of it all, part of F1, or would you rather they'd be gone forever? Let us know in the comments down below, but that's been it for today's special. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.